morning, it's Anthony Meisner from Land Title. I wanted to bring you the first to know update for Boulder County. Lots of interesting stuff happening here, and keep in mind, here we are just entering March, and we've had a very vibrant winter months, right? So that January was off to a quick start. February, gangbusters, right? The problem is we had so many buyers, we have no sellers. Here we are rolling into March. March has some really good stuff coming on the market, right? We have inventory coming. Our average sales prices are increasing. They're not increasing quite as rapidly because we saw that big bump in February, but this is a really good sign. We're starting to see some of that health come back into the market. So I've got some really good news for you today. Obviously, average sales price is up 14% from this time last year in single family. That shouldn't really be a shock to anyone. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's not a little bit more than that. The median, though, 10% increase as well. I would expect these to be actually a lot higher numbers. So the volume of the inventory coming on the market must be in the lower price ranges than what we've been seeing over the last few months. Here's the other interesting part. The condo townhouse prices were skyrocketing, right? And the reason for that is they're finally coming to market. They're finally on the same level and the same playing field as those detached single family homes. We don't have an excess of inventory in the attached market. There's a lot of demand coming back to that attached market in this, let's call it the post-COVID environment that we're sort of in, our new normal. So people are moving back into that townhouse condo market in droves. And that is being affected by a 25% increase in average sales price. Now that shouldn't really concern any of us. I mean, it really just shows us how strong that market is as well. Obviously, the price per square foot is going to increase at a very rapid pace. You can see here in the detached market, that 23% increase in average sales price. That 23% is really going to affect that margin more than anything else. So that 23% is going to give you a better baseline of that average increase in sales price. That's really where we're seeing this market go, 20-something plus percent this year so far. And the condo market, as you can see here at 21%, is also increasing at that same rapid pace we've been seeing in the detached market. So here we are, kind of coming full circle. Here's the part that is the most concerning, but at the same time, we're starting to see the light. Active units are down to 236 units, right? 50-something percent less than we saw at this time last year, but at the same time, we're starting to see that rise because you're starting to see those sellers enter the market, right? And I've been telling you for a while that March through October, we see the bulk of our inventory come on the market. The problem being that we have more buyers than sellers still active in that marketplace. So we did see 500 new listings come to market. This is a huge thing to pay attention to. The number one thing to tell your buyers right now is that yes, it's a tough market, but stick with it because there is inventory coming in. There's inventory for us to go look at. We have a chance of getting stuff under contract because there are homes coming to market in Boulder County, and they're coming on at the same pace as last year. So this is a very exciting time. This is the best information you can possibly provide to your buyers. Now, if you're a seller, that inventory slide, the active units at 236, is the lowest we've really ever seen, right? I mean, obviously January, February, a little bit lower, but for this time in the market, there's no better time to list than now. So there's a couple of narratives we really need to talk through here. Let's go forward just to kind of show where that's at. So pendings were at 404 total. We had 500 new units come on the market, but there's always a little bit of a delay there. You're going to see that lag. It looks like 18% less pendings than this time last year. That's all supply driven, right? Pendings are going to continue to pick up through the summertime and into that later spring market. And here we are at a half a month of inventory, just a little bit of a rise from the month before. Still very frictional, right? We're talking about pretty close to the bottom of the barrel here in Boulder County. So from 0.4 to 0.5, that's a healthy shift in the supply. It's a good sign that there's a lot of listings coming to market, but obviously there's so many buyers, they're taking them off the market as quick as they can. Now, if we look over here to the active days in MLS, this is what I've been warning you guys about. This is why I keep saying, get those buyers out active and early and often, because the sooner they can go under contract, the more likely they are to have a better experience in this marketplace. So as a buyer, those days in the MLS, it's finally time to start paying attention to this. If you have listings, get them active as soon as possible because of these two factors. 15 days in the MLS average, so it's active to under contract, and that is in the month of March. We saw that in May, June, and July last year at the fastest part of the market. So this is one of those where lots of buyers came to market early, not enough listings, and the market's going to continue to pick up all the way through May. the percentage close price to list price, this is where we're really seeing that divide from last year to this year. And this is that supply shift, right? That lack of supply being out there with still a huge increase in amount of buyers. 107.5%. We're way above where we were last year at this time. These bidding wars are, I mean, they're kind of endless, right? Depends on the product type, depends on the market. But we're really seeing that huge spring push early because buyers came to market early. So if you're a seller, you want to get into this market now and as soon as possible. So use the percentage listed sale price, use those average days in the MLS, and use that new inventory to start making your case for your buyers and your sellers. The buyers need to understand that they are going to miss out on a lot of appreciation. So overpaying, call it 107.5% right now, is not that big of a deal when you look at the fact that the home could actually appreciate 20% before, October. So they would make up the difference of that and then some in appreciation. And think about it this way. Are you really going to have the buying power in the fall that you have now? Interest rates are rising, prices are continuing to go up, and you're not going to be able to qualify for the same home that you would have otherwise. So buy early, buy as soon as possible. And if you're listing to take advantage of this market, you really need to be under contract in May or a little bit sooner, right? We saw that through June or so last year as well. You can see into July it really started to slow down. So you definitely don't want to be bringing those homes to market in July unless you absolutely have to, right? Spring market is key for sellers. If you have any other questions, I'm Anthony with Land Title. See you next time.